Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest on the severe thunderstorms that we could be seeing once again over the course of this afternoon, this evening, overnight and into tomorrow. We have very unsettled conditions at the moment with a lot of widespread heavy precipitation moving in, and yeah, we have seen some very significant thunderstorms in parts of the west over the past 24 hours and even into parts of central England. The London area and southeast England saw some thunderstorms last night, and we could see even more widespread storms through today and tomorrow. They are starting to move up from the southwest, but at the moment we are in a little bit of a lull. And yeah, we'll have a look at what the models are showing for later this afternoon into this evening, as this thing could really liven up. So, do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, if you start on the live radar, you can see there is a bit of dry weather across northern parts of Scotland, and you can see just at the tips of northern Scotland, we do have some precipitation, and that's the remnants of the severe thunderstorms that we did see last night. We'll have a look at those in a little bit more detail, but yeah, while on the live radar, you can see we do have quite a few heavy batches of precipitation in the south and the west. Across southern parts of Ireland, we have some remnants of some thunderstorms that formed out across the Atlantic, and they are sort of decaying away, so very few lightning strikes within this now, and just generally some heavy to moderate precipitation there. Similarly, across parts of southern England, we do have some heavy precipitation here, some torrential patches within it, but mostly moderate precipitation moving up through central southern England, giving a soaking in these areas. But it's to the south and the west that we do need to keep our eye on. Big instability is moving in with the low pressure, chucking all this energy towards us, and we are starting to see some big thunderstorms coming ashore across the far southwest of England, and this has just become more widespread, pushing in over the course of this afternoon into the evening and continuing overnight and into tomorrow. A lot of instability, a lot of cape around, and a lot of heavy thundery showers, and I do think we are going to be seeing some quite interesting conditions over the course of the next 24 hours, just as we did see last night. Now, the thunderstorms last night fell from around 11 p.m. to around 4 a.m, so most people didn't see them at all, unless you're up quite late. But I do suspect some of these thunderstorms will be falling much more towards daylight hours this afternoon and tomorrow, so we could be seeing even more impacts from them. If we do go and have a look at the temperatures as well, because actually it's quite a warm day still, you can see across far east and parts of northern areas where we're escaping the precipitation and the cloud. It's pretty decent. Temperatures around the mid-20s, 25, 26 degrees. So we do have a warm air mass in, and that is actually fueling these storms and giving it more energy. So that is something we do need to keep an eye on as well. So even though it's quite warm, that is actually fueling the intensity of these showers. And another thing we can have a look at on the live radar is the past 24-hour precipitation. Now, this is only what has fallen since 1 p.m. yesterday afternoon, and you can see across western areas where we did have the thunderstorm warning. You can see those yellows. That's a good few inches of rain there through southwest England, through parts of Wales. But one thing the thunderstorm warning from the Met Office yesterday didn't cover is the storms we saw across central England. You can see where these green lines are. This is where we saw some severe thunderstorms move through. Now, we didn't see insane rainfall totals there over the course of the night, just because they did move through quite quickly. So, yes, some areas saw 10, 20, 30 millimetres of rain in an hour, but only saw an hour of rain just because the precipitation did move northwards very quickly. But yeah, some quite severe thunderstorms moved through there. Unexpected from what we saw in the warnings, but what we did see in the video yesterday is that instability was there, and those storms were coming ashore from southern England, and we didn't know how far inland they would come, but in the end they got into the Midlands and even parts of northern England, still with some active lightning. So yeah, very interesting seeing that last night. Again, it was in the middle of the night, so most people didn't actually see it, but yeah, it did happen and did give a soaking to quite a few areas. Now, from this unsettled weather we've had the last few days, and we're going to continue to see the next few days, still parts of East Anglia and parts of the far southeast haven't seen a lot of precipitation at all. Have seen some sprinklings here or there, but nothing too crazy. But I do suspect over the next 24 to 48 hours, these areas are going to see more precipitation. That instability is slowly pushing further eastwards, and I do suspect we will see at least some heavy rain, maybe some big thunderstorms over the course of this afternoon into tomorrow as well. So don't be worried if you are across East Anglia and haven't seen a lot of rain over the last few days, even though it's been very unsettled. East Anglia has actually been quite warm and dry, really. But that will change today and tomorrow once all these showers and storms move in. But yeah, you see the real high rainfall totals in the west, and I'm expecting to see more of these yellows potentially appearing through central southern England, maybe even into parts of central or northern England this afternoon and tomorrow, as we do see more of these thunderstorms and heavy showers move in. Now, if we do go to the weather warnings, we do have one weather warning in force for today and tomorrow. This yellow thunderstorm warning from 2 p.m. this afternoon until 2 a.m. tomorrow. Thunderstorms are likely to cause disruption in some places during Monday afternoon and night. Now, I am a little bit sceptical of this because I do think there is a wider thunderstorm risk. So this area has probably got the highest chance of severe thunderstorms, but I think elsewhere outside of this warning zone, there is still likely to be some big thunderstorms. So if you aren't in this yellow thunderstorm warning and you do want some heavy rain, you do want some thunderstorms, I wouldn't be worried too much. I'm quite surprised the Met Office has been pessimistic with this. Normally when we have this sort of risk of widespread thundery activity, a lot of cape around, they normally issue a very big blanket warning, but we're seeing a reasonably localised warning for the risk that I'm seeing on the models today. So yeah, interesting for that. Maybe they will extend it this afternoon once storms start to move in. But we'll just have to see, really, what's happening with that. If we do look at the further details, though, thunderstorms are likely to develop across parts of southwest England, Wales during Monday afternoon and become more organised through the evening. Lines of thunderstorms are expected to move north during early hours of Tuesday and gradually weaken as they clear into northern England before dawn. While some places will see little or no rainfall, a few locations may see torrential rain, with 20 to 30 millimetres falling an hour and 50 to 80 millimetres in 3 hours. Additional hazards accompanying stronger thunderstorms include frequent lightning, hail and gusty winds, particularly during the evening period. So this evening and overnight is the biggest risk period, and I do think it will be further eastwards and further westwards in this warning zone as well. Yes, the most severe storms may only be in this yellow warning zone, but I do expect to see heavy rain and a thunderstorm risk and potentially disruptive thunderstorm risk elsewhere. So yeah, interesting seeing that warning there. Very likely lower end of the impact matrix, so highly likely we do see these thunderstorms come off, but whether they're super high impact, probably not. But they are a lot more extensive tonight than they were last night. Yes, we saw a big line of storms last night and very heavy rain in the west, but they did move through quite quickly, especially the storms further eastwards. But whereas today and tonight and tomorrow, we're just going to get repeated batches. So I do think there could be some very high rainfall totals come tomorrow. Now, if you look at the rainfall radar, this is the weatherandradar.co.uk, and this is a radar snatch from 1 a.m. last night. Again, it's not the best radar, but it's very difficult to get radar more than sort of a few hours behind, because it's not normally saved or it's put behind a paywall or something. So luckily we got this here. And if we do run it back a little bit to around sort of 8-9 p.m, you can see very heavy rain in the west, and these small yellow dots you see, they are lightning strikes. Again, we'll have a look at that in a little bit more detail in a minute, but those are lightning strikes. And you can see whether we had the thunderstorm warning across Wales, southwest England, through the central southern England area, didn't really see thunderstorms at all. Sort of very heavy rain, torrential rain areas, as we saw on the live radar, seeing 50 millimetres plus, but not severe thunderstorms. But these storms across northern France that took off, headed through the London area, through Midlands, southeast England, giving very, very heavy precipitation for a time, but they did move through very quickly. A lot of lightning activity all the way to around 2, 3, 4 a.m. before spreading northwards and just coming in an area of heavy rain. So yes, when we saw the thunderstorm warning, we did see the heaviest rain. We probably saw some localised flooding, but it was outside of the thunderstorm warning where we actually saw the thunderstorms occur across central England, the Midlands. Yes, across the far south, that was within the warning zone, but London wasn't in the warning zone, or at least north of London wasn't, the Midlands and northern England wasn't, and we saw very, very severe thunderstorms there. Again, the lightning from this doesn't do it justice, and if we do go over to the real-time lightning radar, this is the past 24 hours, so I'm recording this at 20 past 1, and this is the 24 hours to 20 past 1 yesterday, and these are the lightning strikes here. So it's not every single lightning strike, because of course the detectors don't pick up on everything, but it gives us a very good distribution. You can see the storms heading last night across northern England. These purple ones are older, the lighter colour ones are newer. So these yellow ones across southwest England, they are live. They're in the last like half an hour or so. But you can see these ones that fell last night. Initially, some big storms popped off across northern France, and they turned more widespread all the way through central southern England, southeast England, all the way through central England, the Midlands, even into northern England and Yorkshire, and even a few thunderstorm strikes, lightning strikes across Norwich as well, near Norwich at least. So you can see very extensive thunderstorms, and the warning zone, which was across Wales, southwest England, through central southern England, didn't actually see the majority of the lightning strikes. It fell outside of the warning zone, and this is why it is so difficult to forecast these systems, because these severe storms weren't forecasted to last this long. They were forecasted to move up, hit the south coast, as they come inland, lose their strength and decay away. And that's what we saw from some of the models. Some of them held on a little bit longer, and in reality these storms held on for a good few hours, giving a lot of lightning inland. But we've got our new batch of storms moving in this afternoon into the evening, and you can already see a lot of these yellow colours. These are live lightning strikes across southwest England, and expecting this to become a lot more extensive. So we do have initiation this afternoon as I'm recording this just past 1 p.m, even before the warning zone even starts, and that is further eastwards as well. We are seeing some big thunderstorms across southwest England, a lot of lightning strikes, and some very high rainfall totals. So just got to keep aware of this over the coming hours and the next 24 hours or so. I will keep everyone updated on the lightning strikes and where we are seeing these storms initiate over the course of this afternoon and evenings on Twitter. So do check that out. That link is in the description. Now, if we move on to the models for this afternoon and evening. Now, we'll start on the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature from this. We'll then run on to the WRF, looking at the precipitation and CAPE, and then we'll have a look at the AROME run, looking at precipitation and CAPE as well. Now, after we run through, you can see those heavy showers moving northwards. Again, these are remnants of the thunderstorms we saw last night, moving through northern England out into the North Sea. So if we do run through around 3 p.m. this afternoon, you can see those thunderstorms starting to take off across the far southwest, and you can see through the warning zone. That's where we do see initially the biggest thunderstorms this afternoon into the evening, but we see more spread in through central northern areas and eastern areas as well around 9-10 p.m. this evening, spreading northwards, giving quite an extensive heavy shower and thunderstorm risk. And as we head to around midnight, you can see those heavy showers and storms spreading northwards, losing their intensity a little bit, but still giving widespread heavy precipitation. We do see a bit of a lull through the early hours of the morning, but as we head through into the afternoon, heavy, thundery showers break out once again. A lot of red showing here, so very high precipitation rates spreading in, heading northwards and giving a lot of heavy, thundery rain. And as we head through Tuesday evening, you can see those thunderstorms and heavy showers spread northwards once again before slowly decaying away. And we just see widespread shower risk across the south with some thunderstorms within it through Wednesday. And again, a widespread pop-up shower and storm risk through Wednesday afternoon. And slowly we see still more showers and thunderstorms, perhaps not quite as organised as we've seen recently, as that centre of the low pushes on top of us for eventually, by Friday and into Saturday, still heavy showers and storms in the east, but across parts of the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, maybe southwest England, things start to turn a little bit drier as eventually the low pressure moves out to the North Sea, giving us slightly drier conditions perhaps into Saturday. But I wouldn't rest on that too much, because lower pressure is waiting in the wings in the Atlantic potentially to move back in very quickly after this. So yes, could be dying down on the heavy shower and storm risk perhaps around Friday, Saturday, especially in the west, but we'll have to see what happens beyond that. Now, if we do have a look at the 2-metre temperatures from the UKV run, you can see still temperatures this afternoon still getting to around 26-27 degrees in the far east, across near Norwich, and widely low 20s. We still have a warm upper airs, but it's with heavy showers and storms, so likely to cool it down at the surface. As we head through to Tuesday afternoon, you can see those temperatures still very warm in the far east, 25 degrees, but further westwards, when we have more extensive showers and storms around that time, much cooler, mid to high teens perhaps. And that is similar as we head into Wednesday afternoon, perhaps 24 degrees, but where we have showers and storms further south and westwards, maybe high teens, low 20s. Still, though, quite warm and humid, and that is fueling these showers and storms, of course. And as we head into Thursday, those temperatures are slightly cooler, perhaps only 21, 22 degrees, and that's because the low pressure is pushing over the top of us, and that warm air mass we have is moving eastwards, and actually we are going much more in a cooler air mass. Nothing cold, but cooler than what we've had recently, and what we'll have for the next couple of days. And as we head into Friday, you can see those temperatures once again are high teens, low 20s, around average, maybe slightly above average this time of year, but cooler than what we have had recently. Now, if we do move on to the WRF and have a look at what the Cape and precipitation charts are showing over the next 3 days, now you can see this afternoon significant capes start to build in around the time I'm recording this, and that's why thunderstorms this afternoon are likely to explode. Look at that widespread cape around 5 p.m. through central and southern areas. Through this evening, we're just going to see a lot of heavy thunderstorm activity before eventually it will decay away overnight as reduced cape comes in. But that's not the last of it. Through tomorrow afternoon, we see more extensive cape, perhaps not quite as widespread and as high, but still there, so still giving some heavy showers, the opportunities we can turn into big thunderstorms, and yeah, it could be a lot of precipitation around, torrential rain around as well, and that continues through Tuesday evening into Wednesday as well. Perhaps the most significant cape across the far southeast of England, but staying perhaps quite offshore through Wednesday evening, the most significant cape, but still coming inland from quite high levels for eventually decaying away. And by Thursday, we're actually under or more towards the centre of the low. So the increased cape within the warmer air is further eastwards out towards the North Sea. So we could see a few little Kent clippers where northern parts of France through the Channel and North Sea see some very big thunderstorms form, but we don't see anything really much inland really. So we have to keep an eye on that on Thursday. It's still a good few days away, so it could still change. Now, if you look at the precipitation from this WRF run, again, you can see the heavy showers and storms breaking out through this afternoon. Some very big storms initially, but they will really take off through late hours into the early morning. You can see very big thunderstorm risk across parts of London, the Midlands, East Anglia. This is why I say if you are in the Far East, it doesn't look likely you see precipitation now. Through the course of this afternoon and evening, could be some big precipitation here, and that continues through the evening before eventually turning a little bit dry before we see an increased shower and thunderstorm risk once again through tomorrow into the afternoon and evening, and that just continues all the way through Wednesday, perhaps staying more towards the south and the west, and to Thursday as well. Still shower and storm risk, but perhaps more across the south coast, East Anglia, as we have less energy inland, as we are more towards the exact centre of the low, and that warmer air mass which is fueling a lot of these showers and storms moves further eastwards and southwards. Now, if you have a look at the AROME run and compare the cape for this and the precipitation as well, again, you can see significant cape moves in through this afternoon. That's where we could see some big thunderstorms this afternoon, evening and overnight, and it continues all the way through the early hours, even in eastern areas, before we see a bit of a lull through mid to late morning for more cape moves in tomorrow, giving more thunderstorms, and yeah, just that risk continues all the way into Wednesday as well. So all these moderate amounts of cape just continuing to be pushed in from the southwest over the next 48 hours or so, and yeah, going to give some very, very big showers and storms. And if we do have a look at the raw precipitation from this, we do run it through, you can see those storms starting to take off in the southwest and becoming more extensive and widespread over the course of this afternoon and the evening, spreading northwards. That big batch of storms pushes it positioned further westwards in the WRF run, much more towards the centre of that yellow thunderstorm warning. So perhaps that's what the Met Office is taking. The AROME is probably more high regarded than the WRF, so probably that wherever those storms do form, we could be seeing a lot of rain. And the AROME is towards West Midlands, South West England, perhaps Wales. The the WRF, more towards the East Midlands, East Anglia, London, the South East. And you can see very, very subtle shifts in instability can move this thunderstorm batch much further eastwards or westwards. So we'll have to see what happens in reality. We'll only really know probably in around 6, 7, 8 hours time once these storms start to pop off, at least within this batch, this big area of storm activity. So we'll have to see that over the course of this evening, and eventually we just see continued storms move through again tomorrow into the afternoon, continuing all the way through to Wednesday. The south and the southwest are really going to get peppered by these showers and storms. Not all the time they're going to be thunderstorms. There will be times where it's just moderate rain, just heavy rain, maybe some torrential rain without lightning, but we are going to see plenty of big, severe thunderstorms mixed within this. So we do finish the video by having a look at the latest from the GFS, and then we'll have a brief look at the ensembles as well. I don't want to make this video too long. Now you can see low pressure moving in at the moment, continuing to push instability in towards us, but it's by Thursday, Friday time, the low pressure moves to our east, reducing shower activity a little bit, and higher pressure builds in temporarily. But as we head into next week, low pressure tries to push itself back in, and does so successfully in around 8-9 days time. It continues to be pushed in, and we just see loads and loads of lower pressure trying to push in from the north, and we actually go quite chilly with a northerly flow in 300 hours time, which is quite far ahead, but it is quite a chilly northerly flow, and eventually we just go really westerly. And this is all because we have these ex-hurricanes pushing into the Atlantic, and we are trying to build higher pressure in, but it keeps getting flattened by the energy. Again, these runs are choppy and changing so much, so I really wouldn't rely too much on what's happening beyond the next 7 or 8 days or so, where we do have quite a lot of reliable time frame. It does look likely, perhaps in around 7-8 days time, as that high pressure tries to get toppled over by the jet stream, we actually do pull up a very warm air mass temporarily. So we could even see mid to high 20s widely in around a week's time. But we'll have to see with that. And the reason why we think that is because you look at the ensemble members in a week's time, around the 11th, 12th of September, we do see a quite decent spike in the ensemble members now, with temperatures up towards 10 to 12 degrees at 800 VHPA widely, and with less precipitation around, it could be quite warm conditions widely, instead of a warm humid air mass we have at the moment, but all showers and storms around. It could be a drier, warmer air mass, so we'll have to see with that. But the next sort of week or so before that, temperatures returning more towards average, a lot of showers, and that shower risk continues all the way through to the middle of September. Really no respite, temperatures up and down. Yes, a bit of a spike around the 12th of September, but returning more towards average beyond that, and we'll just have to see exactly what happens with that. But it looks pretty unsettled, pretty autumnal, and it could be quite warm at times as well. But equally, if we do start to pull in a northerly wind at times with a lot of volatility within the jet stream, we could see some quite cool and cold conditions. The GFS midnight run actually produced a very chilly northerly wind with temperatures in the low teens for max temperatures, and temperatures getting towards freezing overnight. So that is on the cards. It would be one of these colder runs you see in the extended range, but it is a possibility, and we'll just have to see over the next couple of weeks, or the next few days, and generally the next couple of weeks. If we do look at the ECMWF Ensembles, just to finish, again, very similar. Warm to more towards average over the next few days. A little bit of a spike around the 12th, 13th of September, and then trending back towards average towards the end of it. And just a lot of big precipitation spikes. Nothing too crazy, but still loads of frequent precipitation spikes, showing it's going to stay very unsettled, potentially very stormy as well. We just have to see what happens. But for the time being, we've got a lot of thunderstorms, heavy showers, torrential rain around over the next few days. So make sure you stay safe out there, keep up to date with the weather warnings, keep an eye on the live radar, and of course keep it on Twitter as well. And if you do follow me, I'll keep you all updated, of course, this evening, tonight and tomorrow, with what is happening, where these showers are forming, where they are potentially going. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.